Welcome back to a brand new video, guys. I hope you're having an amazing weekend. I've got some PS5 news for you, but first, please drop a like under this video. It means a lot. It means a lot. And click the join button if you want to become a member. So let's get into that PS5 news, and it comes courtesy of The Verge, and it's great news, man. Sony will reportedly enable PS5 SSD expansion this summer. The update could increase fan speeds. Oh no. No. No, Sony. Don't do it. We know what the PS4 Pro was like. It was like a jet engine. Hopefully this doesn't do that. It better not, Sony, okay? So, yeah, they're enabling SSD expansion this summer. Exciting times. Sony will allow the PlayStation 5 to make use of the expanded SSD storage from this summer, according to a report in Bloomberg. The functionality is said to be coming in a firmware update that will activate the PS5's M.2 expansion slot, which is currently disabled. Sony told The Verge ahead of the PS5 launch that the feature was reserved for a future update. Well, that update's coming in summer, by the looks of it. Bloomberg sources say that the firmware update will allow for an increase in the speed of the PS5's cooling fans. The PS5 is an extremely fast built-in SSD, and any compatible third-party drive will need to be equally as fast in order to store and run PS5 games. That's going to generate some extra heat. Hopefully not a lot of extra fan noise to go with that. The PS5 comes with an 825GB SSD right now, leaving users only with 667GB of usable space when formatted. Why couldn't they have just went with a terabyte, man? Xbox went with a terabyte. Why, Sony? Why? That isn't a lot for games these days, guys. With game sizes ever increasing, you can't fit all the content from the latest Call of Duty on a 500GB PS4, for example. Yeah, so basically the games are getting so big. We're seeing like 200 gig games, 400 gig games, 500 gig games. Beyond that, especially when you download like the high resolution textures and stuff. So that 667GB of usable space on your PS5, it's going to be filled up. And I'm sure most of you, if you have a few games already, will know the experience. I mean, I've already hit the limit on my on both my PS5s. You can only download so many games, and I've actually had to delete some games and re-download other games to make, switch and swap. And it's a process having to download a 200 gig game or a 400GB game. It's a process. And when you delete your old one, it's gone. You have to re-download it again. But yeah, I had to buy an external USB hard drive for the back of mine because I play a lot of PS4 games on mine. So thankfully, they allow USB external storage for PS4 games. Thank God. But one thing that I'm surprised they haven't done, which Xbox has done, is allow you to use USB external storage to back up your PS5 games. If you can't play them on a USB external storage, at least let us transfer them onto that and transfer games on that back onto the PS5's SSD, because I know you have to run PS5 games on the internal SSD or a compatible external SSD later this summer, of course. But I just wish they allowed you to use that, make use of that USB external storage for PS5 games in a similar way that Xbox can. So back onto the article, PS5 owners will welcome the possibility of storage upgrades as long as the fan noise isn't too loud. That is. Yep, we don't want a repeat of the PS4 Pro. Another update is we're expecting a March update, which will supposedly fix the 4K HDR 120Hz issues. Now, a lot of people that have and bought the brand new Samsung TVs that have HDMI 2.1, they've reported that they can't play Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War in 4K with HDR at 120 FPS, like you're supposed to, right? And Samsung basically came out and said it's not an issue with Samsung TVs, it's a Sony issue, and that Sony will be addressing that with an update in March, which is something to look forward to. They're also supposedly going to be including VRR support, variable refresh rate, in the March update, which should be good. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see 1440p support. We'll see 1440p support in the March update too, or hopefully close behind it. Because as you know, I've got a 1440p monitor here. It's damn near impossible right now to buy a 4K monitor that has HDMI 2.1, 4K, and 120 FPS. So I decided to go with a 1440p monitor, which is like quad HD. It's in between 4K and 1080p. And it supports high refresh rates like 165 Hz. So Xbox already supports 1440p. We just need Sony to support it now. and then I'll be extra happy with my monitor. So yeah, hopefully they include that in the March update. I'm looking forward to it. And obviously, let's take a look at the NVMe slot for the PS5. So one thing I like about the PS5's external storage expansion is that you could just buy like SSDs from, you could shop around for SSDs. You could buy them. It literally accepts standard sized SSDs, which is fantastic. Um, these are the same SSDs that you put in gaming laptops or gaming PCs to get the fastest speeds possible. I love that about Sony. I love that. We do have to open up a few things inside the case, though. We have to pop off the covers and stuff to basically install this. It's not as plug and play as the Xbox one is, where you buy a little, it's like a little adapter and you just plug it in the back. It's not as easy as that, sadly. But it's good that it's coming in, and it's good that it's coming this summer. I'm excited for it. But it's obviously going to depend on what SSDs are compatible with it, because, like I says, the PS5 uses extremely fast NVMe. Well, it uses extremely fast SSDs, and you're obviously going to you're going to need to buy special compatible SSDs that will support the high speeds that the PS5 needs. So that's something to look forward to. By the looks of it, it supports different sizes now. The 80mm slot, the 80mm SSD seems to be the most common one that I tend to see in gaming laptops and stuff like that. I've never seen a super long 110mm one. I don't know if they're on the market yet, or if there's any available to buy right now. I've never seen one. But I'm guessing that makes sense. It's good it seems like they future-proofed it a little bit. Because like I says, these 80mm ones are the standard for everything. And they also support, by the looks of it, they support shorter ones. So if you do have they'll probably have 500 gigabyte SSD, NVMe SSDs that are like at the 42mm range that you could plug in. But obviously they're giving you a lot of leeway when it comes to SSD sizes, supporting 110mm SSDs, which should support the larger sort of sizes, like possibly like 6 TB, 8 TB, maybe more, or the higher ranges. A lot of these NVMe ones top out at like 2 TB, 4 TB at a push. So hopefully with that 110mm slot, they're future proofing it a little bit to support larger storage. NVMe SSDs are super expensive. I'm talking about like $200 for like a $300 for a 1 TB SSD, 2 TB if you're lucky. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out in terms of what manufacturers start making these, if the prices are going to start tumbling down, that more people are using them. Because before, NVMe SSDs were kind of a niche thing for gaming PCs, and now that the PS5, now there's millions and millions of PS5s out there, I'm hoping that demand starts to drive down prices. And I kind of wish actually that the Xbox Series X went with this same sort of thing, because it would just drive down the price of NVMe SSDs for everyone, gaming PC builders, gaming laptops, obviously consoles now. So if I wish Xbox got on board with that, but no, Xbox chose to go the proprietary route, which sucks. Those expansion cards are going to be hard to get after the Xbox Series X. After they move on past the Series X. We all know what it's like with the PlayStation. Remember the PlayStation Vita and the PSP? They all use proprietary memory cards. Well, it feels like the same thing's happening with Xbox. So I'm glad Sony went with this route. I'm glad Sony went this route, and I'm excited about it. So, anyways, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Sorry, this was a little bit long. This video, I just wanted to get excited about it and get excited about possibly expanding the storage in our PS5s later this year. Like I said, the update isn't available now. It should be coming in summer. We've obviously got a March update coming in March, which should give you 4K 120 HDR on Samsung TVs and stuff, and obviously VRR support, which should be good. Hopefully 1440p too, and hopefully, like I says, fan noise doesn't increase exponentially because of this update in the NVMe SSD. So let me know in the comments what you think. I'd love to know what you think, as always. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Peace. See you later.